Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of the Big Chill Podcast, the Barcelona Situation. All right, another great week of sports with some pretty interesting results that I'm sure we're going to get a really great discussion on. First, let's go say hi to the boys. Eddie, I'm hoping you're going to tell us about your little impromptu baseball game you saw on the streets of Paris a few nights ago.
Yeah.
Want to give us the update on that? Are they trying to play minor leagues now in the streets?
Yeah, I think I saw the future Manny Ramirez out in the streets of Paris. Saw a little scuffle outside a bar, and one of the guys working in the bar came outside with a baseball bat. He went sort of like Walking Dead on them, and then proceeded to walk up the hill, smashing the bat on the ground every step, screaming for someone to come so he could knock their skull in. It was a pretty intimidating move.
And you're okay, yeah?
I'm fine, but you should see him. He's in the end, he didn't actually swing his bat at anyone. It was sufficiently scary that no one took him on, and then the police arrived within seconds. So
When you said like Walking Dead, I assumed like the barbed wire around the baseball bat kind of situation.
he's one step away. I'm assuming after this week, he was like, I got to up my game now. They know what they're coming in for. So now he'll have the barbed wire wrapped around it.
Wait, do you mean up in a game against the casual punters or up in a game against the police?
Either one, who knows? I'm not. It was like a 15-person brawl, so I don't know if I could consider them to be casual punters. But
Was it metal or wooden, the bat?
wooden,
Ooh,
which made it actually in a weird way more intimidating because the thud of the wood on the cement made a better noise than like an aluminium bat clanking. Like the thud was way better from the wood.
Sucks. This rarely happens when I'm in Paris.
Well, I can probably arrange for your head to be knocked in by a baseball bat.
Preferably as a viewer rather than a participant.
Okay, well, that's tougher.
Yeah, arrange for something like 20 foot away from where we are, and I'll be happy.
All right, Sam, do you have a weekend story to up that one?
No, absolutely not. The only story was me asking Eddie where's best for calamari and Peroni in Paris after Lyon's 3-1 victory. But I mean, crazy 3 games, right? You had Lyon. Lyon, the beating Man City, simply put. Barcelona, story of this podcast, getting absolutely train wrecked there. They were destroyed, and they were absolutely decimated. It was crazy. But yeah, did you all watch them? Did you watch all the games?
Yeah, I watched it all. I mean, I'm most surprised by City going out. I'm more surprised by that than and I genuinely mean that. If you had told me going into the weekend which of these two scenarios is more likely, Bayern Munich 8, Barcelona 2, or Lyon 3, Man City 1, I would have genuinely said Lyon 3, Man City 1 was the less likely scenario.
Surely you've got to take the 8 goals in the Champions League. That's never been done before.
No, because I've been watching Barcelona ever since the restart, and they looked like a team that could turn on each other. They looked like a team that could give up, and they looked like a team that couldn't defend. So when you pack that all together, conceding 8 goals to a very good side is not that surprising to me. I mean, I'm not saying that I wouldn't have sort of bet my life on it, but it doesn't – the outcome – and I think the fact of how severe the fallout has been from the match is representative of the fact that it was more representative of the overall sort of status of the club rather than just some horrific night where everything went wrong.
The thing is, Barcelona, they've been embarrassed actually quite a few times in these late stages when you look back at it. Like the Liverpool, 4-0? The miraculous escape against PSG that they had, 5 or 6 years? But then they also got spanked by Roma in it as well.
You could almost argue you're touching on a good point there. They've at this stage of the competition or one round before, they've been horrifically beaten in one leg, and they've been fortunate that on several of those occasions they've been able to bounce back or survive. because they
So-
managed to kind of wipe that out from history. So maybe if they'd been playing
So
two
if they
legs,
just had that second leg, they had it. They were just setting it up. No one told them there wasn't a second leg. They went into the locker rooms and were like, "Are you kidding me? This is it? I thought we got second leg coming."
they just went back in
We
there
got
like
this.
2 away goals, guys. 2 away goals. Not
6-0
bad.
win. Don't
6-0
no
and
reply.
we're through. 7-0 and we're cruising.
New Camp's a fortress. Wait, is that our manager walking out the door? Oh, shit.
Are all of our players up for sale?
Why are we getting booed? We've got 90 more minutes, guys.
Oh no! Why are we getting booed? There's no one in the stadium. That would be the real question.
Barcelona actually picked the music and the
They're just
the
booing
crowd
each
noise
other.
to boo them.
Just the substitutes booing the guys who played off the pitch.
But yeah, hot off the press. So manager's been sacked, about 20 minutes ago? And apparently Koeman's going to be taking over on like a 2-year deal. But I mean just
if it is
talking
Koeman,
about...
it's a pretty uninspiring.
It is. I was reading about it, and apparently Pochettino was a pretty obvious one. But the issue with him is he's massively affiliated with Espanyol. So they don't feel it would have been that good a hire. And then, to be honest...
That's a Barcelona's decision? That's not Pochettino's?
Well, I think it's... Yeah, so Pochettino is probably an obvious call. I think what I read was that he was contacted, and I think Barca made the decision that the fans probably would resent hiring an Espanyol legend to oversee what is going to be one of the most turbulent, terrible times for the club, actually.
That's ridiculous. Not saying that I would definitely hire Pochettino, but if that's your reasoning for turning down a manager who 18 months ago was near on the hottest property in management, in European club management, because he's has a past with, okay, admittedly your local rivals, but fundamentally not your biggest rivals.
Yeah.
You know, on that basis, I mean, you have to feel sorry for Pochettino then, because there's not a lot of jobs going for him. By that logic, he can never be Arsenal manager.
Yeah. Fundamentally, he's gone. But I think the thing is, because I agree with you about Pochettino. I think he is the best manager available at the time. But also, surely Barcelona fans, and obviously if there are any listening in Spain, you can tell me about our viewership. But if anyone is a Barcelona fan, you've got to accept that the manager coming in is going to probably gut that team, and you're going to have to accept that next season is not your season, or even the season after. So actually, I would say that's probably the right time to bring in someone that you're a little bit uneasy about, because you're probably going to be more casual about the fact that they're going to gut the team and try something different, try something new. Because, I guess unpacking the Barcelona thing, that team's going to be gutted. We were talking about these reports about everyone's up for sale, which is crap, to be honest. But there are going to be a lot of people going, right, in that Barca team?
Yeah, I think there'll be... Inter Milan have just gone 3-0 up as we speak, so Inter Milan have definitely booked their place into the final of the Europa League. But yeah, I think we're definitely looking at a significant exodus. I think when you see these reports that either everyone apart from 4 players is up for sale, or 6 players, whatever the number is, to me, that's ludicrous. Just from the standpoint of, it might be true that if you put in the right bid for any one of those players, they'll be out the door. But it does seem to imply, and I don't think anyone within the club is kind of trying to stop this thought process, that they are going to push 15, 16, 17 players out the door in the same transfer window. And that just isn't going to happen. For starters, they're going to struggle to find suitable buyers for a lot of those players because they're on big wages. Most of them are reasonably old. So, part of the reason why they're willing to sell them is because they aren't exactly in the prime of their careers. Yep. But even if you can find the right people to buy all of those players, you're not going to have that kind of turnover. You're not going to replace 80 or 90% of your squad in a single season.
Yeah, I was reading about it that I think Barcelona spends 70% or 70% of their income has to go on players' wages. So ultimately, they're going to have to do something about that in order to move on and move forward and give fresh blood wages. I mean, do you just get rid of Messi? Is that the thing at the moment? He is such a linchpin for that team. Like every single thing goes through him. When he doesn't play, usually they're a lot worse. He completely saves that team more often than not. Is he the guy that just needs to go now?
To me,
Yeah, we talked about
I'd have
this
an
a
honest,
few weeks ago, right?
yeah, I'd have an honest conversation with him and say, how long are you intending on playing for? If it's 2 years,
33, right?
yeah, if it's 1 or 2 years, maybe you hold on to him, because I guess the only argument is you don't want to see either the president or the manager who comes in. You don't want to be the guy who forced Messi out of Barcelona. It's even if supporters sort of understand the motive, there will be a backlash, a significant backlash. So that would be the challenge. But I think if you are going to properly rebuild the team, it has to be rebuilding it without Messi. That until he's gone, it is going to be a temporary structure in place, because everything runs through him. How can you possibly blood a new set of youngsters or a new set of players to take on those responsibilities? It's just not possible.
And then you've got like Suarez, who is past his prime now, very much
Yeah.
so. But then you've also got people like Griezmann, Dembele.
Well, I mean, that's the other argument. Who signs for Barcelona at the moment?
Yeah. Who would go on to that absolute Titanic of a club at the moment? Like you know where the winds are blowing with that club at the moment, and they came out with sacking the manager, and they basically said like this is step one. So they clearly are going to gut the club.
But if you're a player, and obviously you're a player with the sort of pedigree necessary for Barcelona to be interested in you, so you have to assume every other top club is interested in you. What recent history would show you that Barcelona is a career killer? You know, Antoine Griezmann signed for Barcelona as arguably the hottest property in European football at the time. I don't think many people would be interested in him at the moment. Coutinho, they basically ruined his career.
And then rejuvenated
Dembele.
it by putting him on loan.
Yeah, I mean, the highlight of Coutinho's Barcelona career is scoring 2 goals against them as they lose 8-2. And then Dembele, okay, Dembele is the one who seemingly his personal life might impact his performance on the pitch because he stays up all night playing Fortnite or whatever. But even so, it's still representative of the club that they haven't figured a way to sort that out.
Yeah.
But I mean, signing for Barcelona at the moment, you would think, oh gosh, I go there. There's no guarantee that either I'm successful in my time at Barcelona or that going to Barcelona means that I can go elsewhere and then be successful.
Yeah, you would have to be given some pretty mega promises at Barcelona in terms of like how you're being played in order to consider it at the moment, because also they're just going to get there's like people like PK that they're going to have to do something about as well. Like Vidal as well. There's so many players where they're at kind of differing stages. But I think I read a stat that the Barcelona team that played Bayern was just under an average age of 30. I think it was maybe like 29 and like half a year or something. And that's crazy. That's insane. I think that's the oldest team average fielded in the Champions League as well. So it's an aging club and they need to, and I think 8-2, if anything, could be one of those tiny blessings. But the problem with Barcelona is the fans won't accept kind of like an Arsenal level situation where you've got a good club that has declined and has to take 5 years completely out of it. But yeah,
and also, are they going to accept finishing 20-25 points behind Real Madrid? Because you're also looking at that.
I mean, there are teams that probably, would you say like Sevilla and Atletico Madrid would?
I don't think so. I think that's
higher next year.
I think that's going too far, because I don't think Atletico Madrid look particularly special. Sevilla are what Sevilla are, which is they're very good in European knockout competitions. You know, but I would be stunned if they finished ahead of Barcelona next year. But realistically, if you do have a relatively large exodus from Barcelona, you are bringing in new players. You are maybe trying to slightly change the approach. Not in the sense they're always going to play the overall style of play that they, that's at the heart of their club. But if you are making Messi a less significant figure, then you are going to slightly change your approach. And if you go through all of that, it's very believable to think they'll be 15, 20 points, further away from Real Madrid. Because you also have to assume that Real Madrid are probably going to get slightly better than they were this year because they're on an upward curve.
Yeah.
But also just looking, because we obviously talked about who the next Barcelona manager might be. So you're right that Koeman's, he's odds on. Pochettino is second favorite at 5-1. The interesting one is Guardiola is fourth favorite at 7-1. And I guess that kind of brings us up, also pushes us on to City. But the prospect that maybe Guardiola feels that he's done everything that he can do at City and that it's time to go back to Barcelona and be the kind of returning savior.
Yeah.
But by doing everything he can, does that involve losing an absolute shitty match in the quarterfinals of the Champions League? Was that on his
they've
checklist?
kind of mastered the.
Was that on his checklist?
They've
They
kind
played
of
it poorly.
mastered the disappointing exit from the Champions League. That is Manchester City's MO in the Guardiola era, and I mean before Guardiola as well, but definitely in his. They've been all conquering in English football, and in European football, they struggle to get past, teams that they should easily beat.
Yeah. Who's it been recently? It's been Spurs, and obviously this one against Lyon. There was another one as well that they faltered against in the quarters. I can't remember.
Yeah, so last year was Spurs in the semi-final.
Great game though.
Yeah, but still another team that they should over two legs they should be beating.
Absolutely.
Oh no, that was no. Actually, no. Spurs was the quarterfinal, right? Yeah, the semifinal was Spurs Ajax. Yeah, I mean, just time and time again, and they also just look shaky. It is a bit surprising because they did look good against Real Madrid.
Yes.
And in a weird way for them, right? If they'd just been knocked out by Real Madrid, they wouldn't have faced a lot of criticism. People would have said, well, that's an understandable result. Real Madrid are one of the best sides in Europe. Better luck next year. But the fact that they've knocked Real Madrid out and then gone and lost to Lyon, and it's the utmost respect to Lyon, right? Who have also knocked out Juventus. So it's not as if it's a total fluke, but there's no way that City team should be. And the real thing to me is ignoring Sterling's miss, ignoring the fact that City missed a number of chances and their defending was woeful.
Yeah.
But ignoring all that, the way they set up for that match, the fact that Guardiola changed their formation, changed their style of play, and seemed to treat Lyon as if they were one of the best teams in Europe by sticking in two defensive midfielders and completely going away from, the way they've been playing in recent weeks and months. It made absolutely no sense. And it turned into a first half performance that was just awful.
Yeah, I think the City were just too conservative. The way they set out, the way they set their stall, they're almost waiting for a pressure that was never going to come from this Lyon team. Lyon were always going to break when they had the ball, and it was just so strange because Man City was similar to Liverpool in a way, even though it's very dominant in possession. It's this constant high press mentality. That's why Bayern do so well as well. I think the high press does so well in European, but I guess football at the moment. And for some reason, City just didn't do it. It was really strange. Like it was one of the characteristics of why they beat Madrid. It was just, it was just strange.
Second half, they were good. Second half, they must have created 6 very good goal scoring opportunities. Obviously, scored once. Sterling absolutely should have scored, but realistically, the second half performance on any other day really would have seen them through, and people would have thought it was a bit lackluster in the first half, but it was fine. But they did turn. They took a tie that should have been relatively comfortable for them, and their approach played directly into Lyon's hands, which was basically, we probably can't withstand 90 minutes of pressure from you, as you touched on. Instead, can you survive 45 minutes of pressure from us? And that was, it makes just zero sense. And it also, while we then talk about the City match, I think that the Lyon second goal being allowed to stand is one of the more laughable decisions in recent times.
Why?
So it exposes 2 issues for me. I can accept that the rules of the game mean that the player is not offside, because as long as he doesn't touch the ball, he's not interfering. I think that is a laughable approach to the game of football, because you have to factor in that the central defenders playing an offside trap have seen this player go. They've seen a ball played directly in his direction to the extent that he allowed the ball to run through his legs. So he effectively played a dummy. And it's gone, well, as long as he hasn't touched it, he's not offside. He's not interfering with play unless the ball physically makes contact with him. That is the correct decision from the officials on the pitch, and a correct decision from VAR. So you can only argue with that one in the sense that it makes it, to me, the idea, I mean, I know there's this sort of famous quote that gets attributed to Bill Shankly, which is, if he's not interfering with play, what's he doing on the pitch? But the concept holds true. And you can't expect that defenders are going to kind of go, he's offside, but I doubt he'll touch it, so I can let him go, but I've got to watch this guy. You know, you're asking for the defenders suddenly to work out, you know, these kind of complex equations of who is more likely to be the first person to touch the ball and how do I react to this. Impossible. I also think impossible for the officials to try and enforce that kind of rule. It's just too complicated. When is he and then second of all, even though Dembele obviously didn't intentionally trip Laporte, obviously it was incidental contact, but there was clear contact between the two of them. It caused Laporte to fall over. Laporte was otherwise in a good position to stay in front of Dembele. It has put Dembele directly through on goal, and he's gone on to score.
Yes.
And if roles were reversed, if Dembele had been sprinting into the box and had run in front of Laporte, and Laporte had just inadvertently clipped Dembele's heel and he had tumbled over, they would have given a penalty and not thought twice about it. And usually the argument is the opposite, which is, oh, if that foul had occurred outside the box, it would have been a foul. But if it occurred inside the box, it wouldn't be they wouldn't give it as a penalty. This is a bizarre one where it's, if that had occurred inside the box, he would have definitely given a penalty. But it happens on the halfway line, and you think, well, there was a long way to go, and he didn't mean it.
Yeah. So actually, the points you've raised, they're almost like the flip opposite, right, aren't they? Because one of them is, in my opinion, the problem with interference is purely that it's subjective. Like, you cut one referee or linesman or VAR official is going to look at the concept of interference. As far as I'm concerned, you are interfering with play, because as you say, the ball has come so close to him. I don't think there was the intention to do that. I think it was just improvisation at the moment, but there's still interference. And then the second thing is, that is interference on Laporte. So this happened quite a lot in the Premier League last season, is that how far in the attacking phase of play do you go to when something happens? Because isn't it the idea that if there's a handball, say 8 phases of play back, but the team is still attacking, you rule out the goal because it's within the attacking phase. It's in that one phase going through that leads to a goal. So you would.
This time you're not even going far back. You're going probably back 4 seconds, and my guess is Dembele probably touched the ball 4 times between he clipped a heel, then probably took 2 or 3 touches and shot.
Yeah.
So it's not some, I would agree with you. If you'd been going back, if several passes had been played and you went, well, he clipped his heel inadvertently, I can live with that one. But when it's, well, he went from having a defender in front of him to being clean through on goal because he's tripped someone up, you're basically allowing, from now on, attackers, if I was a coach, and here's a killer for me, that rule is inconsistently applied.
Yes.
If it's from now on, the rule is going to be, if we don't think you intended to foul the player, it's not a foul. Okay, I can live with that. But then that needs to be applied consistently across the board. Normally it's, you tripped him.
I completely agree. Is because the idea of VAR in the first place was to make absolute decisions on things that are almost to the letter or not. You can't introduce subjective positions as almost like a rule going forward. You can't say like, oh, well, if it's unintentional, but then they've scored, then that should be fine. Because as you say, then you've now got to apply that every time. But each VAR official, each referee is going to have a different perspective. Someone could have easily just blown up and everything stopped, right?
Well, so also, even worse, it kind of, as it runs through my head, this idea that like, oh, well, you just because you were running and you weren't thinking about tripping him, You could even extend. You could go make a
We're
sliding
going to get into
tackle.
like the psychology of the
You could
player.
make a sliding tackle in the box, and they give a foul, and you go, "Well, I obviously didn't mean to foul him." Okay, like we're clear. I didn't slide in thinking to give away a penalty. We're all in agreement here, right? So, is it a foul?
Yeah.
You know,
we're getting into the psyche of it, right?
I
But
didn't
it's great.
mean to break his ankle. Like the goal, I'm not Roy Keane. I didn't
Oh,
set
the Roy
out to
Keane
ruin
approach.
this person. I didn't set out to ruin his career. Therefore, why is it a red card? So that to me is bizarre. It's you cannot possibly apply that, and that fundamentally, you're just looking at it, and as I said, they're going to give. I know in the next 2 or 3 months when football resumes, it wouldn't even stun me if in one of these semifinals or finals, a player will inadvertently foul someone, and by that I mean running and tripping someone up when it clearly he was just in the action of running, not going for the ball, nothing. He will do that, and a foul will be given. And I'm in 100% agreement with that. But if I'm a City supporter or if I'm one of those City players, it is going to drive me insane.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, though.
I agree with exactly what you're saying, but I think we're missing the bigger point here where had Sterling not just missed one of the easiest goals in soccer this year, this wouldn't even be a talking point because they would have went up or tied 2-2.
It still would have been a talking point because that was
2-2.
the second goal. That was the second goal.
Yeah, it would have been 2-2. And would have changed the whole architecture of that game.
It would have done. But you could still say as a City supporter, and look, you don't want to. City shouldn't have put themselves. The criticism has to be firmly on City because they shouldn't have put themselves in a situation in that match where 1 or 2 refereeing decisions or 1 or 2 mistakes were the defining part of the match. That the fact that we're already kind of breaking down the match in that sense shows that the City didn't turn up because the game shouldn't have been that close on paper. But City were well on top at the point at which, once City scored, when Kevin De Bruyne scored, City had already been sort of just applying constant pressure in that second half. Kevin De Bruyne scored, and I think everyone watching thought, here we go, game over. It's going to finish 3-1, 4-1 City. This is it. Yep. And they continued. Jesus missed a chance just after to put them up that he should have scored probably. They had the chances, and that's not to give City this kind of get out of jail free card because of a refereeing mistake. But if it had stayed 1-1, City would have almost certainly won. And the fact that they kind of clawed their way back in, but clawed their way back into the match, and then 10 minutes later, you have this gut punch of this awful refereeing decision that puts you behind again. And we when we spoke about this Liverpool winning the title, we kind of said, look, City, there's no way to dispute the fact that City on the balance of things, they don't have refereeing or VAR decisions go against them. They're sort of indisputable errors. But every time it's a coin flip, it seems to go against City. And every time it's a coin flip, it seems to go in favor of Liverpool. And then you get to the Champions League quarterfinal, and you basically argue it's an extension of that same thing. Where here, you expected it to be overturned, but it wasn't. But you can't say it was an awful decision, but it probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just keep going to the fact, they shouldn't have been in that situation. They shouldn't have started that first half the way they started. They looked terrible the first half, just so conservative. And then the second half, they come out, and, I mean, you've just got to score your opportunities. I mean, look at Lyon. What did they have? 4 shots on goal? Scored 3
Lyon took every.
You know what I mean?
Lyon took every chance. No, Lyon took every chance.
Every opportunity they had, they made the most of it. And every opportunity City had, it was just not enough. Close, but not enough every time. And that's, I mean, you can say, that those calls screwed them. But at the end of the day, what screwed them is how many near chances they missed. Every 5 minutes. I guess
what we didn't know, and probably everyone should have known beforehand, is that turns out Raheem Sterling had a non-refundable holiday booked. And he just did not want to miss out on that. He's got a really nice couple of weeks in the Lake District planned.
In Lyon.
Exactly. Yeah. Drinks are free.
But he got it wrong. Guardiola got it wrong, right? That's the simple thing here, I think. I know we're unpacking it, but Guardiola got the tactic wrong. Lyon, it shouldn't have been 3-1 even with that incorrect tactic. But Yeah, so what are we looking at now? We're looking at Germany v France in both semis, right?
Here's the other thing that really annoys me, because one of the things that came out of this was like, oh, is this a sign that like the English football is no longer
No.
on top? And he went, you can't be this knee jerk. You can't have last year when both European finals were all English affairs,
For the first
and then
time,
this
yeah.
time around, okay, you had one English team in the quarterfinals, one English team in the Europa League semifinals. You can't suddenly go, oh, looks like English teams must be awful this year. It's like, no, they're knockout competitions. And these things happen, and there's plenty of good teams in Europe, and on any given day, one of them could beat the other. That's the way it goes.
Yeah, what do you think's made a more dramatic downfall? The English Premier League in the world stage, or the 49ers after their defeat?
The 49ers are going from strength to strength. So, I mean, when there's zero doubt. Yeah, I mean, there's zero doubt that the 49ers are winning their division next year this year, and that they're making the playoffs, and that they're making at least at the bare minimum, I'll say the bare minimum, they're making the Super Bowl.
Bare minimum, they're making the Super Bowl.
Bust, but it's make the Super Bowl or bust. Yeah.
Okay.
They're making the Super Bowl.
They're not going to make the Super Bowl. I'd be surprised if they make the playoffs.
Oh.
Sounds like a wager.
And I can't wait till George Kittle starts listening to our podcast. He hears you challenging him to weightlifting competitions, just shitting on the 49ers. I just can't wait till we're recording a podcast and we see him burst through the door behind you and just beat the head in.
Just with a dumbbell, just like just
ideally with the Lombardi trophy after they win it next year. I would love to watch him just cave your head in with that.
Wow.
I don't know if he'd have the arm strength to do it. Those spaghetti arms.
Okay.
But I guess talking about
Super
Bowl or bust, playoff or bust, I guess that kind of moves us on to maybe hockey or bust. Will we ever be covering the NHL again? Obviously, the series have not been wrapped up yet, but Frank can give us a little update on the 3 series on which Sam and Frank disagreed.
All right. Well, sit back, get your popcorn ready, because we've got a nice 45 minutes of hockey talk.
And if you didn't hear any hockey talk just now, that's because I've edited out 45 minutes of just going on about it. So just keep in mind, if that's gone, it's been cut.
And that's all I've got to say about those series. So,
wow, that was really interesting, Frank. Thanks for that.
Yeah. So as it stands, Sam the Squid, and I actually picked a decent amount of the same teams for 5 of the series. And actually, every one of those that we picked, the team is winning that series. But the 3 important ones that are going to decide whether we talk about hockey or not are the Philadelphia Flyers and the Montreal Canadiens. I took the Flyers. Sam the Squid took the Canadiens. The Flyers are up 2-1, but I have to say I am a little nervous with how well the Canadiens are playing. I did not think they'd play this good.
They're up on aggregate, right?
Yeah, that's not how it works in hockey, apparently. But I mean, the thing with the Canadiens is they have one of the best goalies, if not the best goalie in the NHL, and it's just showing you how much a goalie can impact the series. I mean, because he's.
Should we trot out that classic NHL playoffs discussion? If the goalie gets hot, who knows what's going to happen in that series? The team could go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals.
It is true. I mean, he's. The last 2 games he's let up.
It's that
1 goal in the last 2 games.
But that's that super insightful hockey analysis that gets thrown out all the time, and it's one of those things that can just be retired. I think everyone's heard it. I don't watch hockey. I've heard it. No one ever needs to say it again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But I think the only thing here is he is probably the best goalie in the league. So it's basically, I wouldn't say that with the 15th ranked goalie. I don't think they're going to have a chance, but he's playing well. So who knows? But right now, Philly's up 2-1 in that series. The next series is the Vancouver Canucks versus the defending champion, St. Louis Blues. The Canucks did take a 2-0 series lead, but the Blues pulled one in overtime last night to bring it to a 2-1 series. So this one I think is going to be interesting. That was the first game the Blues have won since they've gotten in the bubble. So maybe that's going to turn them around, or maybe the Canucks just kind of push past them. All the games have been close. At least the last 2 have been close, both overtime. So that one I think is definitely up in the air. And then we get to the third one, which the Washington Capitals, shout out to Anton again, are playing the New York Islanders.
A shout out before you shit on.
The Capitals look absolutely horrific.
More of a heads up, something's coming your way. Right
Yeah.
now.
Heads up, Anton, because the Caps are about to get steamrolled out of the fucking playoffs.
Cannot wait until they come back.
Curse.
I'm just going to put this out here. If they come back to win that series, you're off the podcast.
Shit.
It's not no more hockey talk. It's no more Frank talk.
No, actually, he'll stay on the podcast. He's just not allowed to say anything.
He's just an observer.
Yeah. He's just allowed to listen. Okay, so
well, that one's 3-0. Favoring me slightly, but still close. What would be impressive, Sam, is if I win 2 out of these 3, but we both win all the other 5, and you have randomly picked 6 out of the 8 correct winners of the series. That would be pretty impressive.
Well, I get another shot at this, don't I? Just by how close it was. So
yeah, we're definitely doing round 2, and I guess that also brings us on. We'll put another test on Sam the Squid's prediction capabilities by doing NBA round 1 predictions. The first game just wrapped up, but apart from that,
I won't say what happened.
Oh wow! I just saw Inter won 5-0. By the way,
wow. We won't say what happened in that one game, but at least it's a little bit easier to manage. Sam, you only have the chance of being behind in one series to start off, not every series.
That's true.
Here we go again.
All
right. So same rules apply, except Sam. Should we ask Sam? All right, let's ask Sam.
Give me three qualifier questions. See what happens.
Okay. How many players are on the court per team?
4.
Great start.
Oh my God. This is even worse because, Sam, I've watched a basketball game with you before. I'll give you another one, Sam. Who won the NBA title last year?
The Lakers.
Interesting. I'm not even going to give you feedback on that pick because it might be. We'll discuss your Lakers pick afterwards, but I'm not going to. It might give you a clue. It might influence. No. It might influence. If I say that's right or if I say it's wrong, it actually might influence your picks here. So we'll keep in mind that Sam thought the Lakers won the.
You sly fox.
NBA
and the fact
title.
that you said thought probably didn't.
Well, no, because maybe now I'll be like, and Sam knew the Lakers won, but I don't want to give away whether it was right or wrong.
All right, we'll do one more. Who is nicknamed the Greek Freak?
I don't know. Some Greek
Basilis.
guy. Is it Basilis?
Don't say where he plays.
I won't say anything.
I honestly don't know. No, I got no idea. Zero
But
idea.
by all means, Frank, try and pronounce his last name.
Nope. I'm lucky if I could pronounce his first name.
Although I did read something the other day that came up about this, is it like Slovenian or Slovakian guy, like Donic or Doncic or something like that, that's apparently...
Oh, he's. Oh, I see. I see here. Yeah, I see. You didn't do any research on hockey, but now you're going to be like,
zero research.
But it came about this guy who's like the 12th best player for the Jazz, and they're saying he could
there we go.
do well
See,
in the playoffs.
key point here is that I saw it, but didn't click the article. Just saw
No, I didn't.
his name, I didn't know it was Utah Jazz.
No, he doesn't play for the Jazz.
Ah, that sucks. Okay.
But I'm giving you no more. Let's get to the picks because I'm giving. Sam hints here.
What an absolute mindfuck here, Eddie. Like, did the Lakers win? Did they not? Does he play for Utah Jazz? Does he not? God, my head's all spun around.
Did he hit the game-winning shot in the finals last year for the Lakers? We'll never know.
Someone knows.
But just so the audience is aware, we now have Sam's general knowledge of the NBA.
I think I flew the NHL better than the NBA. Just
I think you did better in the NHL. But let's go to the picks. So Sam the Squid, I'm going to read out the two teams. They're in no particular order, so don't try and guess the first team is the better team or anything like that. All right, first matchup, the Orlando Magic versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
The Bucks.
All right, Sam is going Bucks. All right, next one, the Toronto Raptors versus the Brooklyn Nets.
Nice bit of suspense there. The Raptors. How many games are there?
All right, next one. There are 4 series in each conference.
8 in total, so you're a quarter of the way through.
Okay.
Just hold on. You're almost done, Sam the Squid. Boston Celtics versus the Philadelphia 76ers.
Why are they called the 76ers?
Because 69 was taken.
We'll get into that after. No more. No, stop trying to buy time while you frantically
What can
Google.
I buy time on? What can my hands? You can see them. What am I?
Keep your hands on the screen and just make your
Hands
picks. We didn't go through this in the NHL picks. You didn't go, oh, why are they called the Canadians?
No, there was one point where I forgot the team name as well, so that could have been a delay. The Celtics.
Okay.
Only reason being they're very famous. I know them, so that's all I would say.
Indiana Pacers versus the Miami Heat.
Heat.
Okay. The Los Angeles Lakers versus the Portland Trail Blazers.
I'm going Lakers. I know LeBron James plays for the Lakers, so I'll go Lakers.
Does he?
That reason.
Is he one of the 4 players on the court?
I guess I'm going to find out.
Okay, the Dallas Mavericks versus the Los Angeles Clippers.
The Clippers.
Okay. The Utah Jazz versus the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, let's go Utah Jazz. It could be the terrible pick. It could be a bluff. It could be a double bluff. But let's go Utah Jazz.
Houston Rockets versus the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunder.
Okay, that completes Sam the Squid's picks.
We only disagree on 2 series. They are the final 2 series that you chose. There was a moment there where I was like, you are going to pick the same 8 teams that I chose, and this is going to be super boring.
I will say again, Sam seems to be pretty good at picking picks.
Well, this one's a little different because in this one, he will have at least had name recognition for, I would say, 4 of the teams that you chose.
Maybe.
Lakers, Celtics. I'm going to guess Heat. Because you'll have remembered when the Heat were good.
Who were they playing?
The Heat are playing the Pacers.
See, I know the Pacers as well. But I would probably say just from gambling, I feel like, and even then that was like 5 years ago or whatever, but I feel like Heat were usually the favorites in a game. So I guess I'm just going on that.
I'll also say that the two series where we disagree are 2 of the more open series.
You did guarantee a win against me last time, actually.
Well, I almost feel more confident given this situation because there's only 2 where I can be wrong, right? But
it's true.
But you did manage to avoid. You did manage to avoid the series that you would consider to be non-contests.
Which one's that?
Well, you would assume the Bucks against the Magic. If the Bucks lose that, so the Bucks are the 1 seed in the East. That's where the Greek Freak plays.
I still don't actually know his name.
Or Giannis Antetokounmpo, however you say it. You have to have. We'll get Vasilis on here for tips on how to properly pronounce his last name.
What a terrible reason to come on a podcast.
Well, only reason he'd ever make it on.
He's not good for much else.
I mean, literally, he might, even though he's Greek, he probably couldn't even help us with that. But then the other ones, to be honest with you, the only other series where there's 2 other series actually that I think I'd be incredibly surprised if there was an upset. the Raptors against the Nets, just because the Raptors are, even though they're not star-studded, they're probably the best coached team in the NBA. They have a lot of very reliable players, and the Nets just, talent-wise, are not that good. It's not easy when you're missing the only two superstars you have on your team.
Yeah.
And then the Lakers against the Blazers. I know everyone's really into the Blazers at the moment because Damian Lillard's been like the hottest thing since the NBA bubble restarted, and everyone's really into seeing him hit three-pointers from the logo and just putting up 50, 60 points. But fundamentally, they can't play defense, and they have no one who could guard LeBron James. They have no one who can guard Anthony Davis, and there's just no way they're going to stop the Lakers from bulldozing them. Unless Lillard scores. Lillard will need to average 60 points in this series just for them to be competitive.
Yeah, I don't see it. But you did say they were the hottest thing since the bubble. I believe that belongs to the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, except the Suns didn't manage to make the playoffs.
Shout out to Arizona.
Yeah, the Suns did manage to salvage their concept as a team in the bubble. They did kind of justify their existence as an NBA franchise.
Sounds good.
No, legitimately. Up until that point, it was hard to really pick a positive about the Phoenix Suns. And then this was at least, it's still kind of hard. It's one of those things where I think you're viewing like an 8-game stretch and like, wow, look at the Suns. They could definitely be a contender next year. And next year will come around and they'll sort of, win 34, 40 games and go out in the first round of the playoffs. And that optimism will go out of the window really fast.
So the two we disagree on, and you say they're quite open. Like, what were the two games again?
So we disagree on the Nuggets Jazz. So I chose the Nuggets and you took the Jazz. The Nuggets are the 3 seed in the West. The Jazz are the 6 seed in the West. Now, that is the one game that has been completed so far, and the Nuggets won game 1. But it did go to overtime. So it's not as if they didn't sort of steamroll the Jazz in the first game. So there's reason to think, what is it, Frank?
So what a surprise that you guys only disagreed in 2 series, and one of the 2 series is the only game that's finished, and Eddie is up 1-0.
Can I have clarification? Did I make my pick when the game was over?
No, but you sent me Utah Jazz, but now you're telling us it's the Denver Nuggets.
No.
These are the lengths you have to go to. And the other one we disagree on is the Rockets Thunder. And that's possible. It's maybe the most interesting series in a lot of ways. So it's a 4 versus 5 from a seeding perspective. Russell Westbrook is injured.
Thank God. Don't have to see that annoying bastard out there.
But even with Westbrook out, I kind of just expect that Harden will score 40 a night. And the Rockets will just be too efficient. The problem for the Thunder is, in terms of an actual matchup, I don't think it's a very good matchup for them. They're kind of built to play against a more traditional team, and they have players that are just going to struggle to be on the court for any significant period of time. Even though they're going to struggle to get, in many ways, like Steven Adams is my favorite NBA player, just because I think when he talks, he's got a good sense of humor. I liked when they interviewed him in the bubble, and they kind of were talking about how other players were complaining about the living situation and how difficult it was to be stuck in a bubble. And he said, he's from New Zealand for context, Sam, and he said, well, we're living in a bloody resort. He was kind of downplay. He said, it's not Syria, mate.
It's kind of true, right? We were talking about that in the first couple of podcasts. How bad can being at Disney World be?
And that's going to be the interesting thing to play out. How will this impact the series in any way? The Lakers haven't looked great since the restart. They've probably been one of the teams that, in terms of the players they lost, have been most impacted by the bubble situation. But I still expect the Lakers to make the Western Conference Finals, the Clippers to make the Western Conference Finals. That will be a good series. I still think that the Lakers are too good for them over a 7-game series. And then on the other side, you'd expect it to be Bucks Celtics now. Personally, I think the Celtics can beat the Raptors, and then the Bucks in the finals. So Bucks Lakers.
Eddie,
that's my prediction.
Eddie, just
2-1 seed.
Just to follow through. You've taken the favorite for all of them except the Heat series?
Yes. Yeah. I took the favorite apart from the Heat. But I'm telling you now that I will pick one upset in round 2.
So you're already future predicting when you win everything in this round.
I guess same logic, right? I've picked myself into another shot.
You have,
you have
but
picked yourself.
You have, but I think it's gonna. Yeah, we can do that. But yeah, I think you know more about the NBA. You'll be able to be. And basically, if you stick to your same, assuming that we're right, if you stick to your same predictions, we would probably make the identical predictions in round 2.
Chances are, though, I'll probably forget names. Like if I just did this truly and then forgot names, like I wouldn't be surprised with my.
We'll just
memory.
Men in Black your memory.
Yeah.
It's also a little bit. It's a little bit harder to
podcast.
avoid. It's a little bit harder to avoid NBA content, and also it's more likely that we speak about the NBA on the podcast between now and round 2.
Well, that's all that's doing is helping me then.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else with the NBA? So that starts today, and that'll be going on. This round could be all the way up to like the end of the month, I think. Right?
Yeah. I mean, there was.
I don't get that. Why are they taking so long to play? I mean, that's what I like about the hockey is they're crushing through this.
That's one of the pieces of news that came out today. Well, that a few media members have sort of broken, is that they're going to try and make the playoffs go by faster. So traditionally what would happen is they have like a set day, like round 2 begins on day X. And now what they're going to do is say, like, let's look at
if they finish early?
Yeah, say the Lakers sweep the Blazers and the Rockets sweep the Thunder. They'll play round 2. They won't wait for everything else. They'll just go ahead and play round 2.
But even I'm looking at the schedules now, every team has a day in between playing. Is basketball really that draining that you need another full day of recovery every game? I mean, even in hockey, they're playing back-to-back games. You know, like I don't think you need to have a day off every time. It's a little much.
I mean, yeah, sure.
What do we expect?
Which do I think is the bigger physical toll, hockey or basketball? Probably hockey. That being said, you normally have a day off between playoff games. So if you switch to not having a day off, you'd be punishing older teams, and there would be more reason to then have the asterisks. It'd be like in the Premier League being like, hey, there's only 12 matches left or whatever. Why don't we just play them every day? You guys really need
a football game.
You really need 3 days. Yeah, exactly. You get an unlimited subs and you just play nonstop.
You know, like when you were at school and you used to do the 5-a-sides where the teams would just swap at halftime and a new game would come. It would just be like that. So we're starting off with Liverpool, West Ham, and then 45 minutes in, it's Manchester United v Southampton.
Yeah, just nonstop. Get the entire season done in an afternoon. Why not do that?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it would be pretty good.
But in the NBA, obviously, the interesting thing is, right, they've taken a ratings hit. So people are crushing the NBA. Everyone's saying they're getting like all these shows on Fox or whatever, like Fox News is beating them on the ratings. And when you listen to certain aspects of the American media, the accusation is, well, it's because the NBA got political. And because they got political, people switched off.
Was that Fox News saying that?
That's one of the outlets, yeah. Which I think is a little bit misleading. I think people, weren't the NBA wasn't in their routine. The times that games were being played at totally changed. So you can't even, it's not even one of those things like I get home from work and I watch an NBA game. Now it'll be like, oh, it's midway through the afternoon and there's an NBA game on. I didn't expect to watch that. Like it's hard to compare, when you think of the fact that there was a playoff game played Monday afternoon, to compare the ratings of that playoff game to a game that might have normally been played Monday night, it's impossible to be like, well, look, first game of the playoffs last year had higher ratings. It's just a stupid comparison.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too is, I mean, hockey I think has had really good ratings since they've come back, but they've come back basically right into the playoffs, whereas the NBA has done this route of coming back into a weird renewal of a regular season where not all the teams went, but some of the teams went. And I just think when you're about to watch, am I going to watch playoff game? No, I'm going to watch them kind of play, but not really play that hard because they haven't played in a really long time. Just like the intensity wasn't as good. They weren't taking it as seriously. So I think that's one of the reasons I like to see now that they're in the playoffs and it matters. What I'm sure their ratings will pop back up.
No, for sure. And for a lot of the good, very good teams, those 8 games were meaningless. Like they had to win 1 or 2 maybe to confirm their seeding, but fundamentally it didn't matter. They knew they were going to get the job done. However, the comparison to hockey is unfair because when you go from 3 people watching to 4 people watching, it's wow, what a ratings surge here.
See, it's very hypocritical for you to say that because you said the same thing about our podcast last week when we upped our downloads. So in that sense, it's good.
From
but
50,000 to 50,001.
I'll put it this way: when we're a multi-billion-dollar podcast, I won't be monitoring the daily downloads.
All right, so I've got a pretty fun one. I thought I'd run by you guys. They just sent out an email yesterday at our university for the intramurals they're going to play this fall because of everything that's going on. They've kind of come up with like a creative list that people can still participate, but obviously social distance. So there's not going to be, flag football or kickball, some of the bigger ones that we used to have. So I'm going to run down the ones that they are offering in person, and you tell me who wins out of the 3 of us. The first one is an easy one.
Not me in any of these.
No, they're different. They're not what you think they are. So first one, 8-ball pool.
Oh, actually,
I've
never played. Yeah, I've never played.
I might pick Sam
with Frank, but I have played English and American pool. Yeah.
I will say now, I have the track record of taking down Eddie.
Hold on a second. We fought a very hotly contested series.
At one point, I was up 13-3 in the series.
Yeah, what did the series end up?
13-5.
No, you asshole! You absolute asshole!
No way. You were demolished pretty bad there. Okay. Waffled, one would say. Waffled.
All right, so you know me, Frank. Do you think you'd beat me?
I would say no. You have the look about you that you know your way around a pool table.
If there's one thing everyone always says about Sam is he loves a stick in his hand.
Brilliant. So, is that you want a podcast kind of thing now?
Yeah.
I used to play at a pool club nearby when I worked in London Bridge, but that was more English.
That wasn't a pool club.
it really was.
No, he got the word pool and baths confused.
Yeah,
it was like, a men's bathhouse.
It's so convenient when you go to the toilet with your pool cue. There's this little hole for you to store it in while you pee.
It's pretty good. All right,
my silence isn't justification or allowance of that joke, you dick. And anyway, how would you get a pool house and a bathhouse confused when you actually go in there? Why would you be like, I'm trying to play pool in here, but I'm so sweaty.
It's just about getting you in the door. It's
okay, so it's misleading. It's misleading at the front, but then the cloth would peel off. It would be stupid.
It's a bad Google Translate on the door. All right, next one. So I think I'd give that one to you, Sam.
Cheers, mate.
Next one, badminton singles.
I would love to see Eddie play badminton, kind of
in
the
I'm picking
all-whites,
myself.
with
I'm
the
picking
all-whites, really short shorts.
I'm picking myself, and it's not even...
really high white socks.
Well, I don't know why I had to put that outfit on, but
No, you do, because it's English badminton.
but I'm picking myself very confidently there.
Okay.
Are you picking yourself very confidently just because of your tennis skills, or because you actually have a track record with badminton as well?
Well, mainly tennis skills. On top of that, I've played a decent amount of badminton, never competitive badminton, but like quite a lot of badminton. We had to play it in PE, a lot of stuff in school. I'm an all right badminton player.
The only thing I could give you there, Frank, is I used to play a lot of squash.
Yeah.
Better, closer on the wristiness, and I actually did try out for the badminton team at university because I lived on the same. One of the guy who lived on my floors was on the badminton team, so he just convinced me to go around to the badminton tryouts. Didn't go well.
You played for the American football team as well, but basically wasn't the story saying like you just turned up and they were like, "You're good"?
No, that was different. That was again because of someone I lived with, because that's when I lived with Sam, another Sam, who was on the team, and then they had like an open practice, and he kept encouraging me to come along, and I came along once and played quarterback for them because all of their quarterbacks were injured. And I'm not claiming to be
for the pocket there.
I'm not claiming to be an incredible quarterback, but I was a significant enough upgrade that they instantly wanted me to hang around to be quarterback on their team. And that is more a reflection of the quality of English university American football than it is an indication of my ability as a quarterback.
Yeah, that's kind of scary.
All right, I'm going to give it to Eddie because he's told me about badminton and I rarely play it. So I don't know about your skills.
The only time we played
Frank loses.
Yeah. The only time we ever played was in PE. The only thing I have a chance maybe is I make Eddie run around the court a lot and his little short shorts get wedged up in there and he gets all sweaty like a bear and then he just passes out. That's my option. That's my chance to win.
Eddie
also wears one of those white PE vests.
It's quite the image, and I wish that the next time I hear like a professional athlete speak, they also gonna describe their hopes going into the match that way. Like, hey, Milos Raonic, what do you think your chances are in the Wimbledon final against Roger Federer? We're like, well, not a lot, but maybe if I make him run around and he gets a massive wedgie and passes out, maybe I've got a chance then.
No, I'm going to say Eddie, both for the outfit and the skill.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one, cornhole.
Explain.
Or otherwise known as bags.
Further explain.
It's a game where you toss like a sandbag into a sloped, it's like a sloped board.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a hole. You've definitely seen it.
I've seen it like Fates and Village Fates and all that kind of stuff.
I would say Frank, because he's definitely played more than any of us.
He's frequently.
That being said, I'd give myself a fighting chance. I would eventually give Sam a fighting chance, but given that he's actually never played it, I think.
I mean, it's throwing a bag in a hole. It can't be.
Yeah, no, you have hand-eye coordination, but it's still a learning curve there. So I would make you.
You have to throw underarm, don't you?
You'd be underdog, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But I would say Frank, just because you've definitely played the most and probably played the most recently.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty confident going into this one.
So
I've played a decent amount. It's pretty big in Arizona, especially when we go up north into the mountains. To visit family. It's kind of like all they do is up there is play cornhole. They have like huge tournaments. So I've played a decent amount. I'm pretty confident in that one.
Also, Sam would get confused. He'd turn up and he'd be like, "This reminds me of my This reminds me of my pool club
podcast.
So this is a big hole for me to stash my cue in.
This isn't my bathhouse."
Oh, right, guys, thanks for making me feel at home. You didn't have to do that.
Next one. Horse.
Okay.
Oh.
Same, not too dissimilar.
Yeah, so it's definitely between the two of us. We've played basketball together. Neither one of us are exactly Steph Curry. So I would say...
we did nickname ourselves the Splash Brothers, but not on the basketball court.
I would say
in the gay bars, yeah?
I would say that's a 50-50 toss-up between the two of us.
Yeah, It's just whoever gets more lucky on the day,
Yeah.
basically. There's not much skill there.
All I will say is I have more recently probably played a bit of basketball, and my shot was coming back in the Paris Pickup League. So
I'm Frank. Would you have a counter argument to that before I make my decision on who is better out of both of you?
No, I mean, I honestly haven't played basketball in a really long time. I would say when we played together, we were basically at the same level. Like there was no one that was like a better shooter or anything like that. But yeah,
Right.
No, I'd say it's a toss-up.
Eddie gets it then.
Yeah.
I asked for an argument for your skill.
That's a solid. We got to pick a winner.
I mean,
so Sam, as a neutral, that was a solid decision.
Okay, I got a good one here. So now I think we even do this one both ways. The penalty kick tournament. Wait. I'm gonna do it like this. It's the penalty kick tournament. The winner would be you'd have to play both positions to be a winner. So it's not like you're the winner of like taking the penalty versus being the keeper. It's all together.
You would probably have to do it matchup style, wouldn't you? You'd have to do Frank v Sam, and they would alternate me v Eddie, Eddie v Frank.
Yeah,
and then ultimately you'll
I
probably
like
just aggregate.
I like that you went third person there for a second.
yeah, we understood, Sam. It wasn't like that complicated of a scenario.
I'm pretty confident this one Eddie wins.
I'm gonna say me.
Wow. I mean, I'm ruling Frank out of this one immediately because I've seen Frank kick a ball before.
Not good.
Yeah, so
I don't even know how.
Even if he could save something, there's a chance he wouldn't score at all. So
I did play a fearless goalie in our indoor league when we used to play on whatever day that was on Tuesdays.
Yeah,
in Paris.
and you played even in the 7-a-side.
I was fearless
in the 7-a-side league we played in. You played in goal then as well. So I mean, maybe.
But I have no chance.
Yeah, maybe on the other end, a save or two. But yeah, you're not going to win. Between me and Sam, historically, and when Sam and I did used to play together in university, Sam was the goalkeeper. So he probably has the goalkeeping edge. I would say I've got the finishing edge, though. So I would call it another toss-up because it's a penalty shootout anyway, so there's an element of just guess the right way on the right moment. Even if it's a good penalty and even if you're a bad goalkeeper, anything can happen.
Out of the two of you, who's got the better chance to pull a Sterling?
I'd say both of us.
Yeah, either one of us could pull that off.
I'd probably say Eddie's got more power behind his shot, but I would say because I'm left-footed, that can sometimes throw people off a little bit more.
I'm also left-footed, Sam.
Okay.
So I'm giving myself the edge because I could remember that Sam was left-footed and he couldn't remember that I'm left-footed. So when I step up and I bring my iPad out so I can be like, where is Sam most likely to shoot? My data would be reliable, whereas Sam would be like, oh, this is right footer's definitely going.
While still looking at the iPad, I just rolled it into the net.
All right. Next one is, I think this might be a debated one. I don't know for sure, but ping pong, otherwise known as table tennis.
I'm going to say I don't think that I have the edge in most of our head-to-head athletic competitions. There would be a lot in which either one of you would be ahead of me. Ping pong is again one, unless someone's going to break some news to me on this one, it again plays into my tennis past to a degree. And on top of that, I spent 2 years of my life working for a company with a ping pong table where I literally played ping pong for 2 hours a day.
Hashtag startup life.
Living the dream.
Well, I've played Eddie in ping pong, and he knows I'm not good. I've only probably played a handful of times in my entire life.
I've never seen Sam play ping pong. So
that's the wild card. Is Sam like a secret ping pong player?
It's not. No.
No.
I've played it to a very recreational level when there's a ping pong table. I wouldn't say 2 hours a day is anywhere I would compete with.
I was basically professional. I mean, you could argue that I was, in a way, you could argue I was being paid to play ping pong on balance of work versus ping pong on the average day, there was more ping pong than work. So that's where we go. We said, would we have a professional athlete as part of the podcast? I'm going to say now, former professional ping pong player.
All right, there's two more. The one we'll just toss Eddie's way is tennis singles. I think we can pretty much hand that one to Eddie.
Yeah, I'll be tremendously upset if I lose that.
All right, the last one is spike ball.
Oh. Sam, do you know what spike ball is?
No.
It's this like it's
A mini trampoline.
Yeah.
Like think of like a one-person trampoline, and you smack a ball down, and the other person's got to like run, and you have 2 hits to, or I don't know if it's 2 hits. You have a few hits to like hit it back onto the trampoline.
If
and
it's
you go
2v2, it's 2 hits. Yeah. It's kind of like a mix of, say, volleyball,
like volleyball
with a trampoline.
With a trampoline.
Yeah.
I would say.
I would rather see volleyball with trampolines now.
Yeah. I would say Frank is the favorite for this one.
Yeah, I think I have the hand-eye and the quickness to do it. The only thing is I've actually never played. Okay. I see it all the time, but I've never really played it.
So I don't think any of us have played it. So maybe one of us would be secretly naturally talented at it. But if I had to pick a favorite, you're the favorite.
We should definitely play this one. This would be a good one for the 3 of us to play next time we're together. All right. So that's all the in-person. They also have virtual offerings of video games. Oh, I'm going to read you the list.
Oh, no.
No.
There's going to be
you're going
to bring up. You're going to bring up a debate that has raged for 15 years.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but if it comes up, I am conclusively the better player. If this game comes up, I am conclusively the better player.
Before I read the games, what I want you to do is, out of all the ones I read, what is the one that you choose that you're most confident that you would win in?
That's a better way
to go one by one.
Against the other 2 people here, right?
No. Against
anyone.
Against like the student body, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
At the University of Arizona.
Yes, if you want to be that specific, then yes.
Well, it changes it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, because a more generic student body would have been better.
Well, no, because if it's suddenly a random English university I'm thinking of and Madden pops up, I'm way more confident with Madden.
All right. Okay. So we're talking about the University of Arizona student body versus us 3. And we have to pick one of these games.
One of these games.
Okay.
Now, there's one in here, Eddie, that I think might throw a curveball to you. Because I don't know if it's really a game or not.
Is it G.I. Jockey?
No. All right. First one, Fortnite. Second one, Madden 21. Next one, NBA 2K21. Next one, Virtual Trivia Night. Next one, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Next one, Rocket League. And the last one, FIFA 21.
I dare you. I mean, for me, it's FIFA.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's FIFA too.
Not the virtual trivia night.
The virtual trivia night, I'd feel good about. I would feel confident. I mean, there's a couple there where I would feel pretty confident I could win. Like Madden, I would feel good about too, but I honestly think FIFA. If I'm playing a random player, FIFA is where I have the most chance of winning.
Okay, so you both choose FIFA, and look at that. You guys have made it to the finals against each other at the University of Arizona.
Sam.
Who is winning that matchup?
This is...
No. I win more often than not.
Sam, so I just want to give... This is a debate that has raged, and I mean raged, for 15 years, where we do an annual FIFA league, for example, where a few of us, we schedule matches, we put an Excel spreadsheet together with fixtures, we put together a league table. Obviously, before we lived together, it was a way easier then, but now that when even from across the world playing the games, and so Sam consistently gets the upper hand against me. If we play, say, when we play on a version of FIFA, I would say Sam ends up winning about 60% of the games. Factoring in, there's draws there too.
Higher.
Sam,
you
Sam,
think
is that
you
fair?
hold
60?
on? You think
It's
you no
higher.
no. You think factoring in draws?
Yes.
So what
win.
percentage do you think? Wait. What percentage do you think I win?
I would probably say I win 3 of 5.
So then there's one draw. So you're
Actually,
saying I
that
win
is 60% in fairness, but
that is
I
60%.
I guess I'm saying a draw. No, but I guess I'm saying a draw. But then again, you and I don't draw. We do extra time and penalties.
I'm factoring in draws, 90
So
minute
if
result.
I'm not factoring in draws, I'd say I win 3 or 4.
Wait, what? So you bumped yourself?
Not factoring in draws.
Yeah, because I'm not factoring in. I would say I win 75% of the time.
That's ridiculous.
Okay.
75's way. You're giving yourself. But anyway, to even go into ignore this aspect of the debate. There is a second aspect of the debate.
Ignore the win rate over 15 years aspect.
Because there is also a stylistic debate.
No, there isn't.
Which is that Sam is defensive in fouls and then waits to get a score on the break, whereas I commit myself to attacking beautiful football.
I defend, soak up pressure, and counter very well.
So imagine this is Leon over here chirping at Manchester City, being like 3-1, 3-1, 3-1 better team. This is what I've had to live with Sam for 15 years. And his argument is, if I've done it over 15 years, it can't just be luck.
Well, that's kind of true, right? That's kind of true, right?
That was one of the worst Sam impressions I've heard in a really long time.
Sorry, let me give you a better Sam impression. Did I nail that one?
He is so bitter about this.
Wow, he's pulling out the cheap tricks.
No, it's so cheap. Bitter. It's so cheap. It's so bad. No,
but anyway.
I beat
wait. Sam has a chance to counter-argue against...
No, I wasn't going
to. This has happened over 15 years, and he has already acknowledged, regardless of the draw situation or not, he has acknowledged that I win more games than him.
All I can say is this. I will throw down a challenge. FIFA 21 is not that far away from coming out. I am happy that we relaunch our FIFA challenge and that the FIFA results are documented through the podcast. Not obviously a match-by-match score update, but as in percentage win rate gets updated on a weekly basis over the course of the season.
Let's say monthly. We don't need.
Okay,
weekly.
I'll take a monthly.
Well, I'm actually tempted to not buy the game this year.
You see, this is the other aspect. You see, this is the reason why this is the reason because he's afraid. Because now he realizes that all his arguments, his years of falling back on unproven data would go out the window.
Unproven data.
Well, because it's just speculative, right?
No, I'm not having it.
Because what he's also failing to throw in, for example, is that we play in this league, right? This round robin.
That hasn't happened in about 6 or so years, but that's fine.
2 years, but we play in this 2 years, but we play in this round robin league, or historically have played in this round robin league, and within that league, there's three of us who consistently win a league season, of which Sam and I are 2 of them. And so while Sam might fare better against me, he, for example, doesn't fare as well against Ollie as I fare against Ollie. So it's difficult to go on the argument of like, I'm the better player if he then loses to someone who I consistently beat.
But Jake, I would say you have a harder time against Jake. And
I don't have a harder time against Jake. I
take
pity on Jake. I take pity on Jake, and unlike the rest of you animals, who are just willing to beat this disabled child into the ground on FIFA, I like to throw him a bone every once in a while and allow him to win a match.
Oh, okay.
It makes his week. It makes him smile so much.
No. Listen, sometimes when we restart this thing, he won't win a FIFA match for like his first 50 matches, and that's not an exaggeration. And when he does finally win, it doesn't just make his week; it might make his year. It might be the only thing that keeps him ticking along.
Yeah. I just remember going into his room once and just seeing the noose ready. But it's okay because he beat you at FIFA.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how much it means to him.
No. The best thing about Jake during FIFA, honestly, and Eddie and I will hands down say this, is Jake's ability to smack furniture at an inconvenient point in the game was one of the best things.
Well, particularly a
about
table
my
in front of
university.
him. It's
It
his
was a
table.
wooden
He nearly
table.
destroyed our living room table. If it hadn't been such a solid piece of wood, every time he conceded a goal, the fact that he didn't break the table and never broke his hand, both things are stunning.
Stunning and brave.
But anyway, Sam, is this you? Did you turn down my challenge?
No, I just don't want to spend 60 quid on a game that I just don't think really kind of adds anything new. So
60 pounds of... Oh, do you know what? Do you have FIFA 20?
I would rather just do it with the older game.
Okay,
and
that's fine. I don't need 21 to beat you.
Okay.
Sam is pulling the Jerry Seinfeld. He's choosing not to run.
Exactly, yeah.
I choose not to run. Oh, and actually, perfect segue. I have one more thing for you guys. Speaking of running, did you see that the 5,000 meter world record was broken in Monaco this weekend?
No.
It held it held for 16 years. It was like a pretty strong record in track and field by a guy named Cheptegei from Uganda. I want you guys to guess what you think the time was.
Oh.
So it's 5,000 meters. It's 3.1 miles. What do you think the final time was?
What's an average mile run?
Final time of his world record?
Yeah. Like what was the world record time that he ran? 3.1 miles.
What do people run? Like a 7-minute mile?
I think you run a 7-minute mile.
I don't know.
Sam.
I don't know. I've got no concept.
Wow, you just wound out the clock to about 17:12.
Okay, so how quickly do people run a mile? Out of interest.
Do you want to know like the world record in a mile? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that'll be good.
It's under 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we broke the 4-minute barrier.
So
in the 60s or 50s even.
So,
but that's a 1 mile. That's someone running an
I know. I'm just
aiming
trying to think. Like, if you go a bit further, you tire out.
I mean, think of it this way. So 400 meters. I think they run in like the 43-ish second for 400 meters. So say if you're running over a longer distance, maybe he's running a 50-second 400 meter over the course of the...
Just using my logic.
12 laps at... How quick did you say?
50. I mean, he's running 6 minutes at 3.1, if that's the case. I'm going to go like 13 minutes.
Okay, Sam says 13
and a half
minutes.
13.5.
What?
So 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
Oh, 13 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay.
Yeah.
Eddie, do you have a guess?
Well, my thought of 50 seconds would make him run a 10-minute 42, 5,000 meters. That seems too quick. I'll go...
I know what you're going to do. You're going to go 13:31.
What did you say again?
It's not Price is Right.
Yeah, I said 13:30.
I'll go 12:42. I'll add 2 minutes of error onto my calculation.
Okay. The time ran was 12 minutes, 35 seconds.
Wow.
Eddie is the winner.
What was the old world record? Maybe I was thinking of the old one.
12:37 or 12:38, I think it was.
you dick. Of course.
So it came out to he ran 4-minute, 3-second mile splits, basically.
Was it all downhill?
What?
Pretty impressive.
Oh, 4-minute, 3-second miles.
Yeah. There's no easy way to say that.
Yeah, I know. It's like, wait,
403
3-second mile splits.
I can't say 403 because that doesn't really sound right. Yeah.
Okay.
So then that begs the question, could you run half of that in that time? If you line up with him and he says, okay, I'll do double what you do, can you beat him?
Do I get to train?
Yeah. Am I allowed to what training am I allowed beforehand? So I've just got to turn up after
he knocks on your door right now.
Okay.
He says, come to Wembley. I've set up the track.
I meant Wembley. Oh, stadium. Okay, I was like,
Idiot.
oh shit, that's convenient.
Wow, what a moron. How do I lose to this moron in FIFA?
Because you're not very good at it.
It's like, oh wow, he's actually at Wembley Stadium.
Well,
I happen
maybe
to
I
be
will
here
do
as
this.
well.
So what are we saying? So it's 2,500 meters in
So about
757 seconds.
So you're running about an 8-minute and then a 4-minute half mile, an 8-minute mile and then a 4-minute half mile. That would win it.
What's on the line for me?
Nationally televised event.
Okay, so just not embarrassing myself. This is the only, just not having a professional athlete being like, I'm twice as fast as you.
But you have to wear the badminton shorts and the white vest.
I would like to think I could do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could run an 8-minute and a 4-minute.
Yeah, I mean, I would. With minimal training, I would feel very confident if you gave me like a month to prep.
But with no training.
But with no training.
With no training, I still think I could do it.
I mean, he's turning up. So you've also got to factor in the possibility that he's turning up on like a Saturday night.
Well, put it this way, he's probably not running his world record pace. So I'm probably getting it like 3 or 4 more seconds. And that might matter.
Which would put you right at your 12:42.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that because that's what I run the 5,000 meters in. So
I'd like to think I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be interested. I'll test myself. I'll go see how quickly I can run a mile and see current situation. What can I run a mile in?
Yeah, I would like to see that data. I mean, it's not that fast. An 8-minute mile is not fast. That means you're running two minutes a lap.
Yeah, I mean, even if you committed to the sprinting walking technique, you might be able to get yourself there.
If this were nationally televised, it would make for a very interesting.
Just holding your sides like.
It wouldn't look respectable, but it might get the job done.
It would be so funny to watch on live TV. This 5,000-meter runner just so smooth around the track, and here comes Eddie sprinting 150 meters and then falling down for 20 seconds.
Just to be clear, if I was following the sprinting running track, it would be like sprint 50 meters, walk 50, sprint 50, walk 50, sprint 50. That's what I would commit myself to.
Oh, that would be so funny to watch for a mile and a half.
Well, with the goal maybe being final 200 meters, I could go into just a full-on sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, get that mindset.
Yeah.
I'm going to sprint at some point.
I'm actually going to compete like an adult at some point.
Oh, that's funny.
Are you running at the same time? Can you block him?
Yeah, I could just tackle him. So you didn't throw that.
No interference allowed.
Well, what if I do like Dembele? What if I just inadvertently trip him and then maybe follow that up by inadvertently stepping on his knees?
If you stepped on his knees, careful. You would snap him in half.
Yeah,
exactly.
Careful. Lifting up your leg like that might rip your shorts.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Don't underestimate your short shorts.
I run very well in the short shorts.
Talking about teams being wasteful really quickly, though, did you see Man U in their 2 Europa League games had about 46 shots on goal, and they scored 2 penalties? That's wasteful example. That's wasteful if you've ever heard it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's an element of bad luck in it at times with them. I know against Copenhagen, they hit the woodwork sort of 3 or 4 times. Yesterday, though, there was that start of the second half. They must have had 4 or 5 really good chances in about 10 minutes. And you just knew once they didn't score that they were going to lose. It was just, when you're watching a football match and there's that kind of, oh gosh, you were so dominant and you didn't score, and this is actually quite an even contest overall, you know you're done for.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Celtic are back in action tomorrow, I believe, in a Champions League qualifier. So we've got that one to look forward to.
Real quickly, run me down the Champions League semis and Europa final.
So one semifinal, the first one, which is tomorrow, is Leipzig against PSG.
Okay.
So obviously, I actually think PSG are pretty comfortable favorites. I think Leipzig without Timo Werner, it's just not quite the same team.
Mbappe's confirmed fit as well, so I'd go PSG for that reason. He's probably going to start. So
same.
And then Wednesday you have Bayern Munich against Lyon. And if Lyon pull this up, I'm going to once again say I expect Bayern Munich to beat Lyon comfortably. If Lyon manage to pull this off again, like all credit to them. But Bayern Munich, Bayern Munich have won, I believe, 19 matches in a row in all competitions. So to think that this kind of machine is going to come to a grinding halt against Lyon would surprise me.
So what would you say, Lyon +4?
I was going to ask Sam, what would you need to double up your Peroni and a calamari bet?
What's the double up worth though? Do I just get double the amount of calamari and a bigger Peroni and 2 pints of Peroni?
2 pints.
I'll throw in some gelato for you.
Wow, you'd be a brave man. I'd probably say, because I'm so sure Bayern will win this game pretty comfortably, I'd probably have to say +3.5. So Bayern by 4 is what I'm saying.
That's too high for me to risk some gelato on.
I mean, you've just had a team. You've just had a team that's like spanked Chelsea in both legs, smashed Barcelona 8-2. Like they can score a lot of goals. So I think, honestly, I would probably say 4-0 is actually a score that I'd probably guess if you were going to give me a correct score.
You're 100% right. I don't disagree with you on that. But you also, if you were to actually try and bet on that, you would just think Bayern Munich could be 3-0 up and basically go into cruise control. We have a final coming up. So let's make some subs and just pass the ball around for the remaining 20-30 minutes, which they obviously didn't do against Barcelona. That being said, Barcelona mentally checked out of that match, and I don't even think Bayern Munich were really even trying to score for the final sort of 3 goals. It was just a case of the fact that Barcelona allowed them to just walk through them.
So
what is Bayern Munich right now?
Odds-wise, I think the odds are basically identical to what City were going into the City-Lyon match.
I think they're a little bit more favourite than I think City are about 1-3.
No. City at kickoff were 1-5.
Oh wow.
City were 1-4 for most of the week, and then they were 2-9 so the day before. But at kickoff, they were 1-5.
So I would be pretty confident Bayern -1.5.
-1.5, sure.
Yeah, I'd say. I'd probably take 2.5.
Whoa. Relax.
I mean, Bayern -2 are 11-8. So you got to think 2.5 is probably 13-8. I think that's a good bet. Personally.
What, -2 or 2.5?
-2.5 is 2.2. So what's that? It's about 13-8, I think. Maybe.
It's not bad. I wouldn't personally do it, but I could understand someone doing it for sure. And then the final of the Europa League is Inter Milan against Sevilla.
We got it half right
there.
Inter.
You'd have to think Inter. At the same time, Sevilla are just one of these tried and tested European Cup sort of knockout specialists, especially the Europa League or its predecessor, the UEFA Cup, is their competition. They've won it so many times. So not that matters. It doesn't matter that you won the competition 12 years ago. It makes you more likely to win it this year. But they definitely do. And you saw it against Manchester United in a way that, A, they know how to hang in a match even when they're not on top, which they did against Manchester United for a while. B, they weren't up. Manchester United took the lead after 8 minutes or whatever it was. It would be really easy for heads to drop, and they didn't. And then also once they took the lead, they just killed that match off. Yeah. They just kept possession. They sort of just suck the life out of Manchester United. So if they do get ahead in the final, you just know they'll pass the ball around, play really slow play. So, but yeah, I think Inter Milan.
Kind of like the over 2.5 on that as well.
In the Inter Milan Sevilla one?
Yeah.
You're a bold
Terrible
person to see an Italian team in a cup final and go over 2.5, but you never know.
Well, Inter can score. And Sevilla usually at least put one up. But yeah, I think I would just stick with Inter though. Okay, so when is that match, by the way?
I think the final's Friday.
Yeah, the final's Friday, and then the Champions League final is Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, so I see a nice bet right here.
We can do more.
Yeah. PSG, Bayern Munich, minus 1.5. Inter to win, and then throw in Gaieth, Mogul.
Stay away from
Love.
Gaieth, personally.
Don't stay
No
away.
way.
I think there's good.
Don't stay away from
No.
Gaieth, Eddie. So for those who don't know what we're talking about the races at York, the Ebor Festival.
Yeah.
The first day you have Gaieth racing in the Juddmonte International. And
It's a good
I
race.
think it's a great value pick. All he's got to beat is Magical. And I love Magical, huge fan.
Lord
Let's
North.
not forget.
away.
Hold on a
hang on,
second.
Lord
Hold
North.
on.
No way.
Also, let's not forget. Hold on. Talking about, at least I'm consistent. When Enable was racing against Magical, you were all over Magical.
Hey.
Now we're getting.
You're right. Because I don't think Enable's that great. This is
Wow.
how good I think Gaieth is.
God,
I wouldn't have backed it for a whole 10 pounds.
See, whilst I agree with Frank's optimism on the horse, I would actually say that Lord North looks like a good secondary bet. Like the horse has won 3 really good races, and each of one has improved pretty markedly.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Gaieth, but
And Magical, when it skipped the Enable contest and then it raced in Ireland instead, it looked good in Ireland. Look, Gaieth, if it gets its front running role and it's untouched and it gets to run its race and conditions are right, sure. I'm not doubting Gaieth's ability on top form. I just am not yet convinced that this season's Gaieth is going to be Mr. Dependable in a way that previous seasons' Gaieth were not.
so who are you tipping
You're
up
gonna miss-
in the race?
You're going to miss out on a great opportunity to double your money, Eddie.
To be honest with you, it wouldn't be a race I would bet on. If I had to make a pick, I would just see more value in Magical.
Not Japan.
Japan's not. Oh.
I would rather bet on Magical dragging Japan's corpse around the track than Japan winning under its own energy.
Wow.
So right now, Gaieth is 11-8, and basically every other horse, well, besides Rose of Kildare, Kameko, Lord North, and Magical are all 4-1.
It's a good race, but yeah, I
mean,
can't
Kameko
see why.
Kamiko's
Kameko's
also
a great
the
horse,
interesting. Kameko's
Yeah.
the interesting one too because everything coming out from that camp is total confidence. And
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're still saying they would have won that race.
so
I mean, the camp still says if they weren't blocked, we win that race without a doubt, which debatable, but
yeah.
I can't go against Gaieth.
I
Too
I
good.
can't see a horse in there that will stop Gaius doing it. The field's small enough as well to help him out. So
That's where you're wrong, Sam. Do you know the horse in there that's going to stop Gaieth doing its thing?
Japan.
It's
Gaia.
Gaieth.
Ooh. It's like you put a mirror in front of Gaius and be like, "This is your biggest opponent."
Pre-race, I'll go into the paddock and just give it the eyes.
No. Everyone's raving about Gaius as well, like Charlie Appleby and all that.
Oh,
They're
not
saying really
everyone.
good things too.
Not me.
Not Eddie. Okay, as long as Eddie's not. But what you'll do is you'll see its odds drop if it runs well for the Arc. 25-1 looks better value.
Well, the Arc betting had a shake-up over the weekend too. Anyway, I mean, before we maybe talk about the other Ebor festival races.
So what do we got,
Yeah,
Eddie?
There were the two races. Mishrif and Sotsas both ran at the weekend, and has kind of changed their future in the Arc. Mishrif is now third favorite into 8-1 now, so Gaieth is right behind it at 9-1. So perhaps if Gaieth wins on this week, you'll see Gaiath move back to third favorite. But then Sotzes seemed to have raced itself completely out of the racing for the Arc. And I have to admit, if you recall, I'll throw myself under the bus on this one. A couple of weeks ago, I said if I had to pick an outsider to win the Arc, it would have been Sotzes. And based on that, based on the weekend, I want to withdraw that prediction, please, because it did not look like a horse that could win the Arc. That being said, if in October it goes on to win the Arc, I did predict that it would do so. Yeah. But yeah, and then the other two big horses racing at the weekend, I guess. I mean, there's a number of really good races at the Ybor Festival, but the ones of most interest are Love, especially when we're talking about the Arc, who's heavily odds on, and then also Batash, who's also heavily odds on, with no Arc implications, apart from the fact that we'll likely be racing on Arc Day. But
I have to say, I mean, I'm the biggest Batash fan, but at 1-2, there's not that much value, especially we always talk about with sprint races. You never know with a sprint race. Sometimes weird shit happens.
It was 1-4 Goodwood.
Yeah, but Goodwood, there was nothing in it.
I promise you, on its SP will be shorter than 1-2.
Yeah, you're right.
You snap up 1-2 now, it will be 1-3, 1-4 on the day.
So my only worry is actually the Wesley Ward horse.
It's not there. It's not racing.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
It's still up. Golden Pal's not racing?
No, Wesley Ward said today that Golden Pal would not be racing in the Nunthorpe.
Oh, all right. Now I'm all in on Batash.
I think the only thing with Batash to think about, though, is the straight course at York. I think there's a heavy bias to high numbers. So you'd want to know where Batash is drawn, maybe as well. But
except you do have to factor in. There's 9 horses declared at the moment. It means that there's probably going to be 7 horses in the race. So you lose a little bit of the draw bias when you have just what will be a relatively small field.
Yeah, but
it just comes down to it again with Batash. If any of these horses beat it, it would be a tremendous surprise. I don't think 1-2 actually represents the surprise that there would be if Batash lost.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I was nervous about was if you had a 2-year-old horse in there, like Wesley Ward's horse, because they get tons of weight allowance. But if that's not in there, I mean, the next best horse is maybe either Art Power or Al Ali or whatever.
I mean, Art Power is the only one. Those are the only 2 horses under 10-1. So
yeah, I mean, they're decent, but no, nowhere near a Batash level.
I mean, the thing with Batash, it shows it. The thing that hurt Batash as being reliable was, is now going back a couple of years. Since then, it's turned into this. It kind of copy pastes its performances almost. And when you then throw in, it doesn't kill you in the final 2 furlongs. It kills you like furlong 2 and furlong 3, where the cruising speed is just so fast, and you see all of these other horses suddenly being heavily ridden 2 furlongs into a five furlong race because Batash is just moving at a speed that they cannot move at normally. And so it's actually kind of one of the fascinating things about watching Batash is because you watch it win this sprint so early on, and then actually the final 2 furlongs where you would normally see a sprinter sort of pull away from the pack and win its race. Obviously, Batash isn't going slowly, but it's not really accelerating at that point. And that's the kind of fascinating thing about watching the race.
I think if we can, very soon, we need to get the Big Chill podcast horse to get into a race against Batash, and we just tell the jockey, just instantly start going as quick as you can and see if you can beat Batash for the first furlong, and then we could just claim that we own Batash from the start.
All I'm going to say is there's 3 things I'll say on that. One, if we did own a horse anytime soon, the prospect that it could race against Batash in any scenario.
The supplement would be huge, wouldn't it? It's like, thanks for buying this horse. You need 8 million to supplement.
Yeah, the kind of donkey we would have, even if you instructed the jockey to just beat it to death from the moment the stalls opened. It would still probably lose by 6 lengths.
What?
And by lose by 6 lengths, I mean the first furlong. He's 6 lengths
okay.
behind. I don't mean.
I
don't
thought
mean it would
somehow
only
it's pulled off this absolutely stellar attempt.
No, I don't think. I'm not arguing that it would only.
Wow,
finish
coming
6 lengths.
second in a maiden race at a Group 1 is impressive.
No. I mean 6 lengths behind after a furlong.
I just want the gates to open, and I want the announcer to go, and the Big Chill podcast is going for home.
Yeah, he's committed early.
No, it would be, and the Big Chill podcast is going home because it has not left. It has not left the stalls.
Hey, I wouldn't mind it withdrawn.
To be grazing.
Withdrawn isn't the worst thing for us, right?
Yeah,
still gets our name out there.
Because then what we could do is, if we deliberately get the horse withdrawn, what we can do is like make noise about it and just say, look, it's very erratic in the stall. It may not actually go in, but if it does, that is the horse. And then see people like gamble with it, thinking, well, these trainers told us this.
So our ultimate goal with owning a horse is large Rule 4 deductions. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah. I'm talking. So then we end up at some class 6.
Wow,
we're getting the publicity from.
Yeah. But I guess to wrap up then too, if we're talking about the Ybor Festival, one topic we probably do have to cover at least quickly was the fact that Dettori skipped the Ybor Festival to go to France, to go to Deauville for 2 rides. He only had 2 rides, admittedly 2 favorites and 2 Group 1s. So it wasn't as if he went over to just ride some in a maiden. But because of the change in the quarantine rules, he's got to go through I think they cut for specialists or something. I think it's been cut to 8-day quarantine, but it still meant that he had to miss the Ybor Festival. He opted to do that, and then that kind of sent everyone into a spin in British racing, where they thought, is this the sort of sign that British racing is no longer what it once was, and that more and more jockeys will go abroad because of bigger prize money, more horses will go abroad because of bigger prize money, and most worryingly, that more owners will want their horses to be abroad and won't even invest in British horse racing because they'll see bigger prize money elsewhere.
Yeah, I can sum up the Dettori part in 2 words: right move. Without a doubt. I mean, he's going to make way more money doing what he just did than if he ran 5 winners at York. So,
yeah, it paid off for him because he won them both. And now, admittedly, both of them were nearly. I mean, Mishriff went off odds on, and Palace Pier hovered around odds on. I think in the end went off 11 to 10, but kind of flirted around that margin anyway. So it's not like he took some huge gamble. He went to ride 2 heavy favorites in big races, and he doesn't have, because of Enable skipping the Ybor Festival, he doesn't have a kind of premier ride at the festival anyway. So it's a kind of perfect storm for Dettori going to France. I think people have been a little bit too reactionary just to the news that he went abroad.
Yeah. So for instance, for that race, it looks like the prize money was $290K for the Palace Pier race. And
that's
I think the
for the winner, or that's the total prize pool for the race?
I'm not
probably the prize
particularly
pool.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know how much the winner actually gets.
But comfortably 6 figures, let's say. Let's put it that way. He's definitely, the horse is winning 6 figures, and Dettori is picking up a nice little paycheck for himself. Then Dettori's going home with at least
€10,000. That was first. That's for first.
That's for first? Okay, fair enough.
Yep. And then Mishriff was 135. So
okay,
how much is that? 290, 135.
He's made €40,000 on 2 rides.
How much?
40,000, I guess, because he's getting.
Oh, you're taking 10%.
Say he's getting 10%, so he's made about 40,000 on the 2 rides. So that's not bad for a few minutes' work.
For York, the winner for the Juddmonte International is getting 155, and he would have that could potentially be his best shot at a big prize because he's got Lord North in there, and that's going to be one of the only races that has a. That's probably the biggest prize at York. And that's not even what he made on Mishriff.
Yeah, and I mean, there's the other argument too, right? Is that Gosden, I'm sure in Gosden, in managing his horses, probably thought these two horses have brighter futures for me, so I would like Dettori to ride them. Because you see the reverse of that, obviously, is that Circus Maximus went to France and
Yeah.
Ryan Moore did not. And that's probably a reflection, A, of Ryan Moore assessing his chances of winning that race, but also O'Brien thinking, does Circus Maximus need another outing with Ryan Moore? Does that significantly change or alter its future? To me, the issue when the kind of, which has been touched on as a result of this, Dettori going abroad doesn't matter. It's Frankie Dettori goes abroad all the time. And he'll go wherever he gets the best ride. That's just what's going to happen. And he may even go, I know he said it was because of prize money, but he may also go there because he likes sort of having a bit of variety or riding a particular horse. He'll make that decision. And as it turned out, he's now spoken about how he likes the fact that he's got this week off in Deauville. And he's not complaining about that. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of factors to weigh in there in the case of Dettori. To me, the issue in British horse racing is overall there are a lot of races with virtually no prize money, and it's just because there's too many races. There just can't be 7 meetings on a random Tuesday or Wednesday, and you're expecting to get, that means 7 meetings with probably a 7 race card, and you want at least 6, 7 horses in each of those races. There just aren't enough horses. There aren't enough good jockeys. Nothing. Just the whole quality gets hit, and as a result of that, the prize money also gets hit.
Well, the thing with British horse racing about 15 or so years ago, probably, about 15 years ago, was that it was on the crest of a wave in the UK because like bookmakers were a lot more, there was more liberalization of like bookmakers, but also because bookmakers were able to open longer, they then opened a lot more, and because they then opened later as well, there was a lot more TV deals being made, so they were able to show all of this horse racing because they needed evening racing, they needed global racing from like Asia in the morning, etc. And then naturally this spurred on like these new all-weather tracks, these kind of lesser cards, I guess, like Chelmsford, Wolverhampton, for example. So there was a need for it at one point because there was a demand for it, because people wanted to gamble on more stuff, bookmakers wanted to stay open for longer. But I think in a post-COVID world, like you're rarely going to be able to see now Cheltenham with 300,000 people. So by logic, like you're not going to see Foss-Lars. I know it's shut now, but you're not going to see those kind of race courses pull in punters anymore. So I think you're going to see this massive, like a shrinkage, which is a shame in a way, because, a lot of people still make a livelihood on lower quality racing still. But I just think it was
Obviously
because it was so big. It was so big 15 years ago, and there was such a virtual demand for it, I guess, in a way, that this is probably the byproduct of it now.
To me, it's just they just killed it. They thought they were onto this, magical thing that would continue to produce this sort of cow they could endlessly milk, and the milk has run dry. You can't have that many races in a day. And that's probably the issue, which you kind of touched on. I'm sure bookmakers are still turning a really nice profit on having random racing on a Tuesday from these smaller courses where prize money might be £3,000 for some maiden, in a race. And bookmakers are probably still turning a decent profit, enough on it that if you ask the bookmakers, do you still want this racing to go on? They'll say yes, because either they're getting enough people sort of actually betting on the races as a single, or it's drawing people in to place bets on other things at the same time, or keeping someone sitting in a bookmaker's for longer because they think there's a race in 15 minutes, and so they're using machines or they're doing whatever. Or it's just people chucking them in, which is the most likely outcome with someone like me, chucking them into a random accumulator, and maybe that horse that like no one's really ever heard of before racing at some smaller course loses. To me, I would rather see horse racing where you have 2 or 3 meetings a day. Stagger them if you want to. So maybe have one that starts with the first races at 11, and then you have another one where the meeting starts at 3:30, and then another meeting that starts at 7 o'clock in the evening. But you'd have better horses, you'd have better races.
Yeah,
I think this is a flat racing thing as well. I actually don't think it's as big a deal in jumps. Fundamentally, jumps racing is in 3 places: France, the UK and Ireland, and I think that it's a very wintered thing. There's some summer jumps, but they're very well known. There's like a very few set of courses that do summer jumps, but it's a very winter thing. It's very confined into itself. I think flat racing, you're right, is bloated because it's year round. It's global, truly global. You've got this race in like Mauritius one day a year where you get like William Buick going over there. And that's the kind of issue that flat racing has, is there's way too much of it.
Does the Doiler go?
I have no idea actually, but I remember William Buick being out there. But that's the point, is that jumps racing is confined to like a 6-month period, 7 months, Grand National to end of the ledger, I guess. And it works because it's in 3 countries. And even though there's lower quality, fundamentally, it's still a better card. I think flat racing has become too big, in my opinion. I think you're right.
Yeah, the issue is they've oversaturated the market, but now you're at a point where it's tough to cut back because then you're affecting so many other aspects of people, like small-time breeders and trainers who are making their career because of the amount of horses, because of the amount of races. So you cut down the races, you're cutting down the horses that can race, you're cutting out a lot of those people who are breeding the horses, training the horses, things like that, who are there because of this gradual rise that they've had over the years. So it's like a tough thing to, it's easy to say like, yeah, the racing would be more competitive, but if you do that, you're cutting off a big chunk of the racing industry that are the ones that you don't see. You know, they're not your John Gosdens and your Magner trainers and things like that, Tabors and all those people, but they are people who have a huge stake in the industry, and you'll cripple the industry that way. I mean, it's a big thing that's always open for discussion, is like they've built it up now, and now it'll be not that easy to bring it down like that.
Maybe. I think the reality is that, and this is probably what it's revealing, is the majority of those people are losing money. And historically, most people involved in horse racing were losing money. And even a lot of the people at the top, not people like Gosden and O'Brien, but in terms from an ownership perspective, will still be losing money. They have so much money that they don't care. I actually think that's the killer, is you've lured people into being involved in horse racing. You know, and I'm not trying to say that horse racing should remain this kind of elitist activity, but fundamentally before, you know, if you went back 30, 40, 50 years and further, trainers would have all come from a certain background where there would have been no pressure on them really to make money from what they were doing at the top level, right? And the same for ownership. You know, the Aga Khan does not care if he loses a bit of money on the horses that he owns. But and I think that's the danger, is that you've got now these people in it who do think, "Ooh, I could turn a profit," or from a trainer's perspective, came into it thinking, "Wow, there's tons of money in horse racing," and now they're sending. You know, you see horses sometimes that have been bought for £500,000 racing in a maiden where the prize money is $5,000. How are you ever going to make your money back?
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But I mean, the other thing too, you have to think about is if you cut down the races, isn't that just going to make it more of this O'Brien versus Gosden versus 3 other trainers? You know, like it's going to be even harder first off, a lot of the trainers aren't going to be able to do it because they're not going to be able to fit in their horses. So it's just going to become basically like Ballydoyle versus Godolphin versus Gosden.
Maybe. I would say there's 2 reasons why that might not be the case. The first is that you would have bigger fields for a lot of races. So you maybe wouldn't have this situation where O'Brien is able to have 6 of the 7 runners in a race on a consistent basis, which in a way allows him to prep so many horses for the possibility of going to a Group 1. Because he's able to see like, oh, first, second, and third, they all ran well. They got to kind of run their true race. And so if you did have a situation where every time you were racing, there was 12 plus runners, he maybe doesn't have as many options when it comes to a Group 1. The second would be the real pressure on O'Brien in terms of him turning money with Coolmore isn't actually delivering Group 1 winners from the perspective of the prize money they deliver. It's from the breeding perspective. And if you had a switch in the model of fewer races, fewer horses, it might reduce some of the pressure on him just to have a sheer number of horses racing in Group 1s all the time. Because what he's trying to do from that really is just churn out horses that he can make breeding revenue off of.
But there's going to be less horses being bred.
Yeah, but when the ones that are real winners are going to have probably a higher fee there. And you're probably going to have fewer being bred, but in a sense that they're all going to be bred from the same, sort of handful of horses that you want to have a Group 1 winner coming out of, which is the case anyway, right? I mean, it's not like O'Brien has some mystery. Almost every O'Brien horse is a Galileo. Like, it follows the same, it all follows the same pattern. It wouldn't change anything for him, but I do think it might just change the dynamic there slightly.
I don't know what they're going to be able to do, but it is definitely an issue. And it's an issue to the fact that even the jockeys and the trainers have brought it up pretty publicly. There's been a few jockeys that have really come out and said something. So we'll have to see kind of if there's a way they can fix it, especially now with everything going on with COVID. It's not helping the situation. But real quick, before we wrap up, just to give a live update, Toronto is over Brooklyn by 17 points in the fourth. So that looks like a cozy win for both of you boys. And Colorado is up 3-0 on the Coyotes. So that really doesn't have much for us, but
might as well be done, that game.
Yeah, it's pretty much done. But yeah, so Sam, are you on? Can you go on your Ladbrokes or something real quick?
Why? What do you need?
So let's do Bayern -1.5, PSG to win. What was the other one? Europa League.
Inter Milan to win.
Wait, what are you
Inter
doing?
to win.
PSG outright.
To win the game. Yeah.
Okay.
To win the match. Bayern -1.5. If you were in the window, you'd be a lot quicker than this. You've lost your touch, Sam.
You wouldn't have been. That's why he's not there anymore.
Is this why you're not? Is this why you don't work for them anymore?
You would have struggled to get your bet on before kickoff. Oh, sorry. Game ended 3 hours ago.
And what was the Inter? What did you say for Inter?
Just to win.
5.35 to 1.
And then Gaieth.
Oh God.
Okay, this is getting silly now, but that's fine.
You're going to be at around 20 to 1, I would think.
Love it. Probably a little less. 15.
I can't. It looks like Bet365 have taken down the Gaieth betting from Antipost, so I can't see it.
They've heard our podcast already. They know how confident we are.
They obviously wanted to suspend the market before all of our.
Yeah, the judgment's not up there. But which one's love running him?
I can get it. I think
the Oaks.
Yeah, I think Eddie's right. I think you're going to be about 18 to 1.
Ooh, love it.
Because you're at 8.5 now. If you add a 6 to 4 and then a 1 to 2, I think you're going to be about 18 to 20.
Okay, yeah. So you've got Gaieth at 11 to 8, Love at 4 to 9, and Batash at 1 to 2. So depending on the bookmaker, it's going to come in around 30 to 1.
Oof, I love that.
Yeah. That's the Big Chill podcast. Are you happy with that, Eddie? Are we giving that as the Big Chill podcast 6?
I mean, I would probably, because it's 30 to 1, that would probably allow for me to be a little bit more conservative there. I would probably knock the Bayern Munich handicap out and just say Bayern to win. And I'd probably take Inter Milan to lift the trophy. And I don't like Gaieth, so obviously I would be leaving Gaieth out. But to me, that seems like a pretty safe set. But
I'm booking that bet.
All right, that's Frank and Sam's tip. I like that as well.
Well, we can sort that out later then, Frank.
The Duke of Cursby, the Jones Boom. Who's going to win? Hey.
All right, boys. Well,
good chat.
Till next time. Good chat.
See ya.
See ya. Cheerio.